A very interesting moment at a Q&A session with Representative AOC, where a couple of guys confronted her over her vote for the Ukraine war effort to supply more weapons. Let's take a listen.
Congresswoman, none of this matters unless there's a nuclear war, which you voted to send arms and weapons to Ukraine. Tulsi Gabbard, she's left the Democratic Party because they're a bunch of war hawks. Okay? You originally voted, you ran as an outsider, yet you've been voting to start this war in Ukraine. You're voting to start a thermonuclear war with Russia and China. Why are you playing with the lives of American citizens? You're playing with our lives.
There will be no neighbors if there's a nuclear bomb. You voted to mobilize and send money to Ukrainian Nazis. You're a coward. You're a progressive socialist. Where are you against the war mobilization? He's telling the right truth.
Wow. This is from a couple of guys. Jose Vega is his name. The other one, I'm not sure what his full name is because he's tagged here on Twitter. Jose being the one who actually tweeted this out. And wow, I mean, it's just one of those things where, A, you rarely see any of this type of pushback. Also, I have been wondering for quite some time. I'm like, where is the anti-war movement?
Well, that's what there's a lot to say about it. Before I get into the specifics of what they're saying there, what's remarkable to me is not that these two men are protesting, it's that they're like the only ones we've seen.
Yeah, this is the only clip I have seen yet.
We are literally, as we have been, I hope, covering extensively on the show, facing down potential nuclear war, and you see very little of this kind of direct in-your-face dissent. And so I fully support it. And now, I mean, if we want to get into the specifics of what they're saying, listen, Tulsi Gabbard left the Democratic Party. She said the warmongers, the Republicans are all on board with this. In fact, some of them are much more hawkish than what's being said here, so we'll put that aside. And, the other question I think people would say is well, why target AOC? But they're right in saying, she ran as taking a different approach. She ran as a leftist who should have a critique of continuing to escalate without any sort of even push at diplomacy or, trying to push the Ukrainians to the negotiating table, which has been the Biden administration policy the whole time. So I don't think it's inappropriate to sort of target her with this type of protest whatsoever. Also, it makes sense to target the people that you think might be moved.
Right.
And since she has a gap between her stated ideology and where she's actually been, that's exactly the sort of person who you should try to persuade.
Absolutely right. I mean, look, if she claims to be anti-war, anti-imperialist, all this stuff, I think that's fine. You have an ideology, but then you have to be consistent about it. And to date, only one senator has even tried to hold up arms sales before he even did.
Yeah.
Rand Paul, when he was like, hey, maybe we should have an inspector general. And they were like, no, and then he still voted for it.
Congressman Khanna, who we had on the show this week.
Yes.
He has taken the same votes, but at least he's been publicly critical.
He engaged with the debate. To be fair,
yes.
I've seen him confronted on it when he was like, look, I think we did it because of this and this and this. I don't necessarily agree with a lot of his analysis, but he at least gave a rationale.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. That is true. I mean, so, Congressman Khanna, who is not part of the squad, is getting to the left of her, at least rhetorically on these things. So she absolutely should be. I could be wrong. I have not heard a peep of criticism out of her on the Biden administration policy, let alone not voting for just, arms shipment after shipment after shipment, which is part of what continues to escalate and escalate and escalate this situation.
There is no way that she could without destroying her brand amongst the blue check libs who buy a lot of her merch and probably support. I mean, look, I think we should also be real. In terms of her district, they probably do want. This is or not even the district, in terms of the elite cachet that she cares so much about, she's very in step. But then be honest about why you're doing that or why you're contravening what you've said previously about war. But listen, I applaud these two gentlemen. I would like to see it happen in a couple of other town halls across the country. So if it does happen, there being incentives, you will get covered.
And bragging points.
But don't do anything violent, please, so that they won't blame me for it.
No, absolutely not. Peaceful protest, calling them out, making it uncomfortable for them. 100%. We should see way more of that. And by the way, I'm sure, the way that these people would be presented is they're the crazy ones. They're the only ones, in my opinion, who are acting in a sane way when you consider the dangerous situation that we're in right now.
Very true. All right, we'll see you guys later.
Cable news is ripping us apart, dividing the country, making it impossible to function as a society, and making it impossible to know just what is true and what is false. But the good news is they are failing and they know it.
That is why we're building something new, a new mainstream, a healthier one, something more trustworthy, something that we are going to need in one of the most pivotal times in American history. We are building up here for the midterms, for the upcoming presidential election, but we need your help. So if you can help us out by becoming a premium member today at breakingpoints.com, we're trying to change America for the better and the entire world.
So what are you waiting for, guys? Go to breakingpoints.com and sign up and help us build a new mainstream.